Namaste and hello. It's such a pleasure to be with all of you as we come together for this very critical initiative which is transforming society, the country and the world at large. Women-led micro enterprises are the powerhouse that increase income in the face of increasing unemployment in our country. And micro enterprises are truly the engines of job growth. They can boost job creation while fueling sustainable economic development. And it is estimated that there are 13.5 million to approximately 15.7 million women-owned and controlled enterprises, creating a direct employment for about 22 to 27 million people in India. And while many Indian women have ambitions towards entrepreneurship, it is more difficult for them to succeed. In fact, India has been found to be in a group of countries where women-owned businesses, as well as women leaders and professionals, struggle with less favorable conditions, pronounced cultural biases, and a lack of business resources such as finances, capital, training, and development. A society in which a woman cannot realize their full potential loses out to the significant opportunity for innovation, economic growth, and job creation. For instance, a recent study showed in India that the gender gap and our ability to close that gender gap could lead to a 6 to 8% gain in GDP. And another study estimated that advancing women's equality in India could boost its GDP by close to $0.7 trillion by the year 2025. Moreover, entrepreneurship remains a critical lever to really harness the economic potential of women and therefore help us to achieve our Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs by 2030. Fostering women entrepreneurial mindset and encouraging women-led enterprise is key to addressing India's problems at many levels. Not just the unemployment, but the fact is that when women are empowered in business, they become more confident in society, their ability to impact societal decisions, to educate their children, to create positive change, all those is a positive multiplier effect. And it's important for communities to recognize this. Empowering the Greater 50 was an idea that I envisioned over a year ago when I was president of FICCI. And the idea was really to inspire this pivotal segment of our nation, which is our women. And the vision was to foster inclusion at every level of the economy and the enterprise, and to enhance entrepreneurial and decision-making skills of women through a series of offerings. And we have done things like training on important aspects like digital marketing and branding to help women in business. So really it's about helping them advance their business in every single way. But it's also about promoting entrepreneurship, about advancing women in management and leadership. And we've worked with multiple corporates and had partnerships with things like the Great Places to Work. It's about training human resource professionals about gender inclusion in the workplace. And we've also done things like mental health sessions, livelihood intervention, various communications and conversations, whether it was the ILO or at different forums, including BRICS Women, where we had the opportunity to speak to the presidents of 5 countries about the importance of bringing women on an equal footing at the economic level. And I'm so glad that IWIL India is one of the greater partners, and Deepa Sayal has been mentoring some of the Greater 50 women beneficiaries. I also want to say that so many fantastic women have really come forward and helped us make the Greater 50 an initiative which is strong, which is growing and having impact. And over the last 2 years, while the COVID pandemic has really wreaked havoc on many businesses and led to job losses and so many aspects, so often we hear the stories where the breadwinner, who was the man, lost his job and the wife decided to take up something and fight against all odds. Whether she became a vegetable vendor at the neighboring kind of Mandi, or she found a way to help in other aspects. Some went back and did work in call centers. So many fantastic stories are coming forward of how women hold the family together, step up and take responsibility, and come back into the mainstream workforce. So I think that women are inspirational in their ability to just face all kinds of adversity and take a positive role and a very practical, need-based kind of role. And it is these women who pave the path for more women to stand up and do something special. To women entrepreneurs, I think I cannot but appreciate, acknowledge, encourage, and say just, I'm proud of all of you, and I know there's so much more that you need to do, but it is critical for us to encourage more women into entrepreneurship and to ensure that the first step is towards empowering the next wave of young female students to develop an entrepreneurial mindset and to understand that they are capable, they can do it. Any of their doubts, their diffidence, their fears, or even their practical problems related to capital, to expertise, there are organizations, whether it's the Greater 50, great organizations like IWIL, to help and to make that difference. And so I'm very happy to be with all of you today to really, applaud the tremendous work that you're doing, to celebrate the partnership of our coming together, and to say that I have great hope for all the wonderful things that we can do. I also want to just call out that one of the biggest problems for women is really the access to capital. And at the Greater 50, we've been advocating for this cause. It is estimated that the total financing needs of women-owned micro and small businesses is approximately 158 billion. And Chetana Sinha, who is a passionate advocate of women entrepreneurship, has really created multiple models of lending to women businesses. And it's ironic that women struggle to get loans, despite the very significant fact that women-owned enterprises have a stronger repayment record and their non-performance of loans are 30 to 50% lower than male entrepreneurs. It's also, a study showed that they are twice as profitable and have a likelihood of availing more products in the banking sector or in the formal sector than men. And during a recently concluded Greater 50 conclave, we had a special session on this, where both the supply and demand side lacunae were deliberated upon, and the lending institutions, both venture capital and banks, we've been reaching out at different levels, including in the BRICS women. We spoke to the BRICS Bank and are giving them a proposal on setting up special funds for women and special risk capital dispersed through the formal banking structure to encourage banks to be more liberal in their disbursement and their venture capital or the funding to women. The other aspect I like to call upon is really the importance of information and awareness about all the various schemes that the government has for women entrepreneurs, because there are a large number. The government has realized the power of encouraging women and has created and tailor-made many schemes towards that. So it's important for us to understand these schemes, to take benefit of those schemes, and to disseminate knowledge about them. There's also a need for implementation of an entire value chain that focuses on training, overall skilling, and that skilling includes marketing, digital communication, banking, policies. Also, we need to look at policy support, hand-holding support, various other trainings, and a bit of like a group coming together to encourage and to say we've been through these problems. So mentors is another large area that the Greater 50 is really focusing on. So we've created a large chain of mentors who come in and help other entrepreneurs. At the same time, I think one of the significant things that we're also looking at in the Greater 50 is reforms in property laws. requiring and ensuring financial independence for women entrepreneurs. I believe that the economic gains associated with increased participation of women in the workforce are multifold and could be a strong growth driver to boost the economy. I also want to very briefly touch upon the importance of the digital technology, because the world is completely transforming using digital, and the digital gender divide, India has among the world's highest gaps in access to technology, and only 21% of women in India are mobile internet users according to GSMA's 2020 Mobile Gender Gap Report, while 42% of men have access. So this is something that we must passionately advocate and enable training and teaching for women at every area for the digital literacy per se. Also, one of the other important things that we've spoken about a lot is the visibility of successful role models. I think another good advocate and champion for women is my good friend who's made such a major success. So Falguni Nair, and the work that she has done with Nykaa, it's almost historic that a woman has created in under a decade, has created the amount of wealth she has through her entrepreneurial spirit and her unique business model. But overall, I think this initiative of building an entrepreneurial mindset, creating support to women-led micro-enterprises for sustainable livelihoods, for encouraging, teaching, training, and continuing to build the right ecosystem of government support, regulation, banking support will be a step towards a better society and a better world. We must find a way to make this happen, and the Greater 50 initiative that we have started is a small step, but I truly want to congratulate the entire team of IWIL for organizing this thoughtful endeavor, for all the great work that's been done by Deepa, and I want to thank you all for inviting me here today. May this journey of women-led development, so this is not women development, this is women-led development, continue to inspire all of us, to empower all of us, and to transform into a better world through this women empowerment. Thank you so much. God bless all of you, and namaste.